you guys want blue collar forearms with the grip strength of our grandfathers, then you're in the right place and you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of this video. Whether you have elbow tendonitis, you are going through a strength plateau, or if you just have a weak grip strength, then this is gonna do the trick for you. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Evening time at the Crusadeum. Are you kidding me with these lights? But I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do so without it taking much time, like I said. But what's cool about it is you don't need much equipment either. It was actually something that I was forced to find because I have limited equipment, and I noticed that my elbow tendonitis kept kind of coming back and it was getting really annoying. So what I came up with is the lopsided dumbbell method. This has done wonders for my grip because I was used to having, you know, those sledgehammers in most commercial gyms where it's like a mace ball and it's just a sledgehammer that comes out. I used to do these turns with them and I didn't really have it here, and then it seems obvious in hindsight. But what I realized is by simply going lopsided on your dumbbells and learning how to rotate back and forth, and honestly it's worked on my grip strength significantly, obviously just because you're turning, pronation, supination, all of it, and I'm going to show you all the variations that you'll need. What's great about this is you'll notice your grip strength is going to skyrocket. My lifts absolutely went off since I started doing this with the sledgehammer, but now coming back to this here in the Crusadeum, you know, over in the med, it has made such a difference. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to find these strength imbalances that we all have in our wrists. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you're probably gonna have a stronger grip on your right side. Makes a ton of sense. I know where you guys' minds went. Yeah, Unc knows. You know what I mean? I sniffed out your degeneracy before you even could think about it. You know what I'm saying? But, and what you can do is go 2 at a time if you want. You can choose to do it however you want. I prefer going, especially in the beginning, starting one arm at a time. And then that way you can address like, okay, I notice, like for example, that's 1 rep, right? That's 2 reps. Now, if I notice that on 10th, I can get to 11 reps, and then I decide, you wanna know something? I'm gonna go here, hey, but I notice on the left hand, I start getting tired and failing at 8. Then you know you have something to work on when it comes to your grip in your left hand. But in addition, a lot of this stuff comes down to grip strength itself. Hold on 1 second, the event's going off. All right, we're back. By the way, completely forgot. Thank God for the imam, because I completely forgot to tuck in like a gentleman. By the way, if you're new here, we tuck in the tank into the shorts because we're here to bring back class to the space that has just gone absolutely soulless. But one thing I want to be very clear, by the way, the tie-up is not necessary, but your boy's losing off of his waist evidently. Not a bad sign, but there's more variations here, okay? And I'm gonna show you all the variations and take you them through. But the reason why I'm starting off with the rotations is because this is the heaviest bang for your buck. By far the highest bang for your buck by understanding rotations. You can go both arms at a time if you want, go single. You can even do that thing where people rest it on the ground. Let me give you a better angle. I'm using the bench just because, you know, camera angle stuff, right? I'm already upset that I have to use a tripod, but you can obviously do that with a kettlebell even, if you have one at your gym, and learn to rotate back and forth. Those are absolutely fantastic, but I want to show you a couple other variations here that are really going to put the finishing touches on a painting, right? Like an art piece. But this is, like I said, it doesn't matter if the base isn't there. That is the most important thing, is getting strong through rotation. And now these other things are here to pick up the slack. You guys should be able to see me, right? Screw it, we're Crusaders. That's what we do, we risk it. For Crusadia, baby. But one thing I like to do is I actually like to start off like this, and I'll actually come up for a rep. Obviously, you guys know this, but it's along your extensor muscles. So you might notice that, hey, the rotations, right, like my left arm feels a little bit weaker. My extensors on my left hand are weaker. This is where my personal weakness is, and I notice it because I just struggle with it a ton more, right? Where this side feels a lot stronger. It just does. Well, actually, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But regardless, that is the very first variation I do to really dial it up a notch from the rotations themselves. And then another thing that I do is I will go this way. And like I said, if you have a sledgehammer, way better to do it that way in my opinion. But because I'm on limited equipment, I have to get creative, but it's the same exact fundamentals. Another thing that I do are these pullbacks, just like this. And I'm loving these because you'll notice probably a lot of you with elbow tendonitis, this is probably going to be the weakest area for you guys, realistically. Because if you're hitting biceps, right, hammer curls, your brachial supremacy, if you know, you're going to be touching up those muscles. But these muscles back here really get no time of day, and you can really crank up the weight. And you're going to notice as you get stronger on these, the grip strength's going to really skyrocket for you, 100%. And honestly, what I'll do from here is sometimes I'll even just hold it for isometrics, right? Those variations alone make such a hell of a difference. This is legitimately my sledgehammer forearm sequence when I have one, is I'll go rotations back and forth. I'll take the sledgehammer, come out this way, go this way, boom. And I am telling you, like, you can even feel the tendons in your wrists grow. And it's because you're having to use a lot more tendon, right? And another thing that's huge, this is gonna help your wrist mobility a ton. And the more mobility you're able to deliver, the more recruitment there's involved. A lot of people struggle with barbell curls and they say I have to use easy bars, for example. And that's because their wrist mobility is garbage. They can only bend out this much, so they need an easy bar because anything beyond it feels like they're just gonna rip their freaking wrist in half or break their wrist in half. Technically, it's a bone in a joint. Stupid me. But listen, we all make mistakes. Don't look at me like that, all right? Let's just show some enthusiasm, all right? We're here for blue collar forearms, and that's exactly what we delivered. But please don't forget, when it comes to this, this is the number one thing. I recommend going one arm at a time in the beginning, and obviously if you're just trying to speed this up, 100%, you can go doubles. That's absolutely fine. But the reason why I'm saying single arm in the beginning is because that's gonna really address. You're gonna really find out the differences, because sometimes we can overcompensate with one side versus another. And then from there, just to recap, up on the extensors, back over here. And you're touching up every part of your forearm that, believe me, you're gonna notice such a difference on your other lifts. You're gonna notice, what the hell happened? I got strength gains. It's unbelievable the amount, and I'm not kidding, the amount of gains people are missing from having a weak grip strength. It's unbelievable. Anyways, I appreciate watching this video. Hope this is well worth your time. And I know it's well worth your time because trust me, until you implement this, you have no idea. I'm not just passionate about wrist strength, okay? I'm not sitting there being like, guys, hand grip, nothing like it, okay? I'm telling you because it almost gave me like this second layer of strength. And it's unbelievable. It's not like, oh, dude, you're going to double your bench. But it's going to go up by significant margin to where you're going to notice it and you're almost going to have that newfound love for the game again. You know what I mean? But one thing I also want to be clear, you can be a walk-in unit, and that's fantastic because you're already basically ahead of 95% of the population just by you getting into phenomenal shape, no doubt. But it's about what you're doing with the training that you have built up, the body you have built, the strength you have built, the mobility, the resilience, all of it. And you want to transfer it over into your real life. 3 pillars of this page: strength, character, resilience. If you have all 3, I promise you, the way you think is inherently different from anybody else. This is how I've been able to get non-natural allegations as a lifetime natural. It's unbelievable the amount of YouTube comments I'm getting where everyone's like, dude, we know you're the next fake natty or whatever. It's unreal, actually. And to be honest with you, I'm not gonna go too high on my horse. I think a lot of the people are probably younger, people that like actually do this shit. You know what I'm talking about, like bodybuilding on the big stage. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm just a guy that, you know, training basically was always my outlet. But the problem was I used it too much to hide from the other parts of my life. That's why I'm telling you, you need to get jacked. It's an amazing experience of life to be in this type of shape, but don't use it as your Achilles heel. Don't allow it to kind of use it as a crutch to, you know, ignore the other parts of your life, because I promise you we can have it all. Anyways, I love you guys. If there's anything you guys want specifically, please drop it down in the comments. And if people like those comments, give those a thumbs up, and then I don't make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love you very much. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders. Crusadia coming to June 22nd. I'm going to tell you in every single video because I am so excited about what we are going to build. We are going to change the game. It's going to be the first time someone's come out with something where we all have a vested interest in one another. And the reason why no one's done it is because it's an extremely difficult concept to basically solve. It's a very difficult problem to solve, but guess what? It's what Crusaders do. This is exactly where we live. This is exactly what we do. You understand? Non-natural allegations as a lifetime natural. We are here to supersede what we believe is possible, where other people are like, there's no possible way. This is what we're here to do. You are an outlier. It's time for you to start walking your path. Anyways, I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace.